Alright guys, welcome back to AJ's Car Garage. Just doing a catch-up intro. Yeah, as you're aware, in the last few videos or series, probably the last 6 videos or so, you've probably been aware that my editing has been blotchy to a point. Doing more videoing before editing equals longer videos and broken up into parts and intros in between that yeah that are random. Anyway, yeah, so in this video we'll get on with putting the intake on the side of the engine and yeah, go over a couple of things with that. Alright, let's get to it. How you going, guys? It's the next day. Just gotten back from work. Well, not just. I've been home probably, I don't know, half hour, 45. I'm gonna get the intake manifold on with the Phenolic Spacer. I've done a little bit of research on them because I've never even heard what Phenolic is before. Yeah, I will edit in a photo that I took, or screenshot that I took of some info of it. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff if I don't say so myself. But yeah, listen to this. Sounds almost like plastic, and the description or the info I will post up or edit into this video will tell you exactly why that sounds like plastic, and that's why I'm very intrigued in this little piece of equipment. But yeah, as for some information on that, there's a New Zealand company that makes them, the same company that makes the AC delete bracket, also supplied by T.I.Performamce. But yeah, the guys that invested in making this have had up to a 40-degree difference in temperature. Yeah, the guys over in New Zealand, wherever they are, when they invested in making this, they went for a drive on a 32-degree hot day, barely any wind, drove up a mountain, and when they got to the top, they got their little infrared thermo temperature gun and pointed it directly at the center of the butterfly in the throttle body, which would be that, pointed it right in the middle, and they got temps of about 85 degrees. So yeah, they invested in doing this Phenolic Spacer, and another day, same degrees, like, yeah, temp wise, 32-degree hot day, same mountain, basically same conditions of the day, no wind, hot, blah blah blah. Yeah, pulled their little thermo gun out when they got to the top, and they had a reading of about 37 degrees, 38 degrees or something like that. Yeah, it is, like, the information I'm telling you now is on the part description on the site at T.I.Performamce, and yeah, this is where I'm referring it from. So yeah, yeah, you're looking at about 5 or 6 degrees, or should be 5 or 6 degrees, somewhere there above ambient temperature for that day. So yeah, it was a 32-degree day. and I think their temps were about 37 degrees at the throttle body. So yeah, that's pretty good if you ask me. But yeah, let's rock and roll and get this done. So you do need, well, you don't need to get all brand new bolts. I've chosen to. Yeah, it says, like, you get some instructions after you buy the product. It says you need to get longer bolts. They're about 5 to 8 mil longer. I've gone with 10 mil longer, so they're 35 mil bolts. The originals were 25, or roughly enough, 24, 25, somewhere there. So I went with the 35 mil bolt. I've just I have just test fitted up the spacer in between the manifold over there, and yeah, I can't feel any play whatsoever, so I'm just gonna go ahead and bolt these up. I do need to get some RTV sealant and put some around all the inlets to seal it up on both sides. Don't need a gasket, RTV goo, as per what the instructions say after you purchase the product. Alright, so let's get to it. Oh, and I went and reset my studs back in the manifold yesterday. Pulled these two out, went over them with me die. Actually, I went over all 4 of them with me die, put me tap through all the holes, made sure they were all good, put them back in with Loctite to make sure they weren't gonna come loose, because as you've seen in previous video, these come out with no effort at all. Unscrewed them by hand. These I found were more or less the same. It was just the fact that there'd been a little bit of moisture get up into the thread from the underside and caused a little bit of surface rust, and that was sort of holding them in there. So yeah, I undone these 2 top studs, dyed the studs, tapped the holes, dyed the studs for the bottom, tapped the holes, reseated them. There is not enough space to get 2 bolts in there, so all I've done is grab my vice grips here as best as I can around the flange of the stud and tighten them up as good as possible, hence the Loctite, because we can't get 2 bolts onto those studs to tighten them up properly. So yeah, anyway, let's get on to getting this intake manifold on. So just gonna set yours up, and then I'll turn the engine around a bit. Alright, just give the manifold a clean up and the header clean up. You really only want a small amount. So you only want like a 2, yeah, like 3 mil wide at the most bead silicon RTV goo, but about 3 mil wide and about 2 mil high, so something like that. And go along. So they're probably not the best. Well, some of them are half decent, but some of them are a bit wild like that. But yeah, the main thing you're worried about is gaps like that. Just fix that up in a second, but generally that should be alright. And it should seal up fine. The main thing you don't want is a big lot of clunk going on the insides of your ports, whether it be on that side or that side, as it creates restrictions as such. Well, in a way it does, it'll block, let's say if there's a big chunk sitting there, it'll block it being smooth on that side and force it to come back and dodge all around and all that sort of shit. So it does create a restriction, just not as much as anyone makes out. And the biggest sort of worry, not that this will be getting started anytime soon, you know, chunks of crap breaking off, going through the valves into the cylinder, through all your equipment and all that sort of thing. But yeah, that should be right. I'm gonna place these down on there, and or maybe not, I don't know what I'm gonna do quite yet. It is a bit messy, but yeah. It's all my bolts. I already got 2 bolts up here that I test fitted to make sure that they were going to be long enough, and they are, or short enough, as I went 10 mil, not 8. But yeah, well, put yours back down here and let's get on with it. Look. What they say is true about spending 90% of your time looking for the tool you just had in your hand. I just had it spinning in my hand and now I've lost it. That was only 5 minutes ago. And it's not even sitting up here. Found it.
Check it out. Check it out.
Alright, so it's looking more and more kind of like an engine. Well, the outside anyway. Got the exhaust manifold on it, the intake manifold on it. Yeah, as you just seen, I ran through it on the low setting with my ugga dugger and just zapped them all up. Then I went through with my spanner, nipped them all up good and tight, as the the German torque spec goes, good and tight. Anyway, now I have not had such a messy experience dealing with that as what I just did. I mean, of course, it's because of that spacer. You know, you got to try and mess around and line the spacer up with the inlet manifold and blah, 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 blah. Ideally, I probably should have tried putting them in separately, like putting a couple of bolts in here to start with, and then putting that spacer in, you know, leaving only a couple of thread on the bolts, holding it, threading the spacer in like I had to do anyway. But yeah, hopefully I haven't got too much crap on the inside of my ports for the inlets, and yeah, it won't cause too much restrictions or anything else. But in saying that, I am looking forward to seeing what sort of intake temps come out of it. I have got a infrared thermo gun myself. I'll take some temps when the cars are back in and running, and certain days when it's really hot or what, and it'll be a bit hard right now. You know, coming into winter and whatnot, so that won't be for a few months, but I'll put it on my to-do list. But yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna worry about cleaning it up too much. Can make more of a mess than it's worth, but yeah, I will go along and just sort of give it a touch up. It might be a bit of an issue. I didn't notice that. No, we'll sort that out when it comes to it. Yeah. Bugger. Oh well. Yeah, I'll go along, give the top a bit of a clean up, just to sort of make it a bit tidier. Why not? Went along, give it a clean up. And it's a lot tidier than what it was. And at least there's no chunks hanging out anywhere. Didn't so much worry about the bottom. No one's really gonna see the bottom, so it's not gonna faze me. Oh, getting a phone call. Be back. Alright, now where was I? That's right. After that phone call, sorry, that was my partner. She just finished work, heading home. Anyway, yeah, if I could have done that differently, I probably would have put the go on the spacer instead of on the head and the manifold. That was way too messy, if that's what you want to call it. Sorry, some orange on there, some goo on there, and get that off. Around here anyway. And under there. Cool. Alright. So, yeah, that's that. Bit of information. Also, when you install these, you need to get a spacer and put in between there to suit. I will get one and put in between there on a later date. Same width as what the spacer is. I'm pretty sure the spacer is 8mm, 8.3mm, somewhere there. It does say in the instructions. But yeah, that's that. Well, I won't have, so you got that support there. You should have one here on yours. I won't have one on mine because of this bracket. Yeah, so it would normally bolt onto that, I'm pretty sure, for the aircon. When the aircon's in there, I don't have the aircon in there. and well, the star's not long enough, and I got the support of that bracket in the way, so yeah, that sort of stops that one from going on there. But I will have that support here. Not that I should need it. I mean, I've replaced all the bolts along the inlet with brand new ones, longer ones, to be able to support that weight, you know, given that it's not in against the engine anymore, or well, not as close into the engine anymore. Yeah, it puts a little bit more hanging weight on this end. So yeah, it should be right. In the instructions, it says you can either replace all bolts or the top main 4. I opted to do all of them. That way I definitely have peace of mind if anyone else is going to work on my vehicle, which in all honesty doesn't happen often. I'm pretty much the only person that touches my cars or anything to do with my cars unless there is something I myself cannot do. So yeah, that should be fine. What else are we gonna do? I have no idea. I have cleaning I need to do for the cam and the rocker assembly over here. I need to give that a bit of a clean up. Need to open that and have a look. What's the time? 3:45. I want to open it, but at the same time I don't want to open it and expose it to atmosphere, yeah, moisture, air, all that could get to it, and make it go rusty, surface rust, blah blah blah, whatever. Even though this has been sitting here, oh, it's starting to show signs of surface rust. I need to clean this ASAP and get that done. But apart from that, yeah, I'm kind of stuck. I don't really sort of know what to do. Shit, I might have to extend that 5mm because of that spacer. So yeah, basically everything from here outwards, not meaning the injectors. I had a bit of a heart attack moment at that earlier, thinking the injectors went into the head, not the inlet, and I was thinking I was going to have to make up some sort of plate to go across there and yeah, space the injectors in, but there is no need to worry about that. Sorry, just giving this bolt a little bit of a clean. They're all going to get a clean. Every bolt's going to get a bit of a clean. I was getting that orange crap off there. It's still on there. Anyway, yeah, so kind of slowly, very slowly making progress. Will be a special video on my rocket cover in the next couple of weeks. Cleaning that down, giving it a paint, and if you want to know what color it's going to be, stick around for that one. Yeah, I really sort of, well, for today anyway, I my flash is blinding me. Anyway, for today, I think I'm done. Oh, there's sort of, I can put the throttle body on and the injectors and all that. Little bit time consuming, not that bad, a little bit. Looking around, still need a gasket for that thing right there. Otherwise I might clean mine up as good as possible and reuse that one. In here I don't even know. Oh. You know what? Stuff it. That is getting cut today. Now. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed watching that video of installing the intake on the head. I might have to take that Phenolic Spacer off to trim around where the thermostat housing goes, and yeah, that's no big drama. But yeah, apart from that, that's done. That Phenolic Spacer is quite a interesting bit of kit. I'll do my own testing on it to see what sort of comes up. I'll try and do it one of two ways. I'll either find someone that's got an AU Falcon that wants to go for a run with me around that one day, and we'll do a bit of thermo testing and yeah, see which one comes up cooler. And yeah, also I'll try and find someone that's got an AU turbo that wants to go for a run one day on a similar sort of degree day, and see what differences we get with that. I know doing it with a standard versus turbo engine might be a bit much of a difference, so yeah, doing it with another turbo engine of the same will give a decent variation in heat range, and will sort of give an average of the difference between NA and turbo setup. So yeah, yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you're enjoying whatever you guys are doing, whatever time it is, morning, noon or night. And yeah, stay safe and keep well. Peace.